Ladies and gentlemen, filmmakers and moviegoers alike, welcome to this week's episode of Critically Casual. I'm your host, Srekcuf5, and joining me as always is the fantabulous Dorkydev. Hi, Dev.
Do you just come up with new ones every week to figure out what you want to say?
Just kind of, yeah. Just random.
Fair enough.
Just random words right before your name, yeah.
Fair, you know.
Yeah, and since
Figured I'd ask.
we're in the middle of comic books, so fantabulous felt appropriate. Wrong genre, but still.
It is what it is.
Yep. So, yeah. Anything we want to talk about before we head into this week's movies?
Man, why did we ever give this guy the ability to make anything super good? Also, I got a really cool gift from a friend. I don't know if you know him, but
That's
these
a
are
pretty cool
really
gift.
cool. It is a pretty cool gift.
Yeah.
Like, look how this is the most anime shit you could get.
No,
Like, the fact that it does this.
Like, it glows, and you can take pictures of it, and you can see the different, like, moon, the lights, and it's so freaking cool. I, like, saw them, and I'm like, I gotta buy some for myself.
Dude, they're fucking awesome. And they fit perfectly on that shelf right there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's fucking beautiful.
It's pretty sweet.
I feel bad because I had to kick, I don't know if you were there for it, but I had to kick him off the shelf.
Oh.
I'm like, sorry, Hellcat's helmet, you're out. Later.
You could fit in the very top of your bookshelf in the very back, you know.
He'd be hanging off quite a bit. Also, the back of that has something really important on it, so I don't want to get rid of that. As the Kappa Claus hat and the my Dark Souls statue up there.
You never know when Kappa Claus might need you again.
Yeah, exactly. You never know when he's gonna need me again. I could walk by that and it could just fall on my head, and there'd be a note in it. You know, you never know. He never came back to pick it back up. So,
is he okay?
I think so. I mean, I don't think he.
Like, it's not like it's not like
Yeah,
the Santa Claus where you killed him.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
No. He's still alive,
Okay.
as far as I know. At least I haven't heard any different. Okay.
Okay.
None of the lols have told me.
Nothing from Mrs. Saint Pogchamp.
Yeah.
Well, that's a shame. Well, at least they're okay.
No, people who listen to this show
have no
are gonna
idea.
have absolutely no fucking idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, because I'm
Unless they
referencing your
listen to
personal
December.
streams. Yeah. So yeah,
Go to
check
the
out
highlights
Dorkydev.
through December and you'll figure it out.
Yeah, do that. Have fun. I actually had kind of fun. Speaking of your Dragon Balls, I uploaded the intro to your Witcher episode today. Is literally a minute or two of me cutting around every time you reveal the Dragon Ball on screen. So it's like, these are so freaking cool. I don't know what to say. I love them. Thanks, Steven. And it's like, you never get to see what it is. So I'm going to show
Saving
them
it for the highlights.
Exactly.
Did you put it in there being like highlights later this week?
Yeah, I threw on there. You can see it on Instagram, your VODs, or later this week on Saturday.
Hey. This is why you get paid the big bucks.
So many big bucks. So yeah, glad you like them.
Oh, dude, they're fucking awesome. Like, they're fucking rad. I wish my birthday was earlier, because then we could have had them for Dragon Ball week. Because hung out with a couple friends over the weekend, and they saw my Instagram post about it. They're like, and we started talking about Brawly, and I'm like, dude, such a great animated movie.
Yeah, I bought them so early because I figured it'd take forever to get to you. Like, I bought my Aquaman stuff that I need, and I'm still waiting for that shit to show up. I bought it like 2 weeks ago.
Did you just reveal the thing?
No
one knows that we're...
No, I haven't revealed anything. But I've bought my stuff for myself, and like, it's ridiculous.
Did we say anything about that stuff, though?
I haven't said anything about anything.
All right, fair enough. I'm just going to ignore it now.
Exactly.
God damn it.
It's not a spoiler until somebody freaks out.
Yeah, fair enough. The rest of my stuff should arrive Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for all. Like, I ordered this stuff weeks ago, and I'm like,
Which, by the way, why we're doing this week, by the way, we're doing the Zack Snyder's 300 and Watchmen. The reason why we're doing that is because next week we review the Snyder cut of Justice League. Should I announce the
yeah,
cast?
if you wanna. I don't have anything to pull up while you're doing it, but
That's fine. We'll worry about that later. But we have a fucking fantastic cast for this because we have decided to unite the 7. We have with Steven Srekcuf5 and myself, Dorkydev. We have Kaver J coming back to Critically Casual.
woo, his third ever appearance.
A Lizard Illustrated coming back to Critically Casual for the second
time.
We have Jim Eclectic making an appearance for the first time on Critically Casual.
Woo!
And 2 special guests, OG Captain Reed, which if you've watched any Har Har podcasts, probably seen him. And first time appearing on anything Har Har HQ related, Baron J67.
Our very own Baron Zemo.
Dude, and also fucking Winter Soldier comes out this week.
That's true. Comes out in a few days. 5 days, I think.
Yeah, I get Thursday off, so I'm gonna like legitimately wake up to watch the Snyder Cut.
Nice.
I'll watch it first thing in the morning.
Like for me, I have Thursday scheduled off, but my boss is gonna have us come in and like start moving things from our office because we're being kicked out soon. So, yay!
On.
Right, but enough about real life stuff. So movies. Let's start talking about this week. But next week and stuff, we'll talk about that more later as well. But this week, this week I have dubbed this week's show Snyd Remarks, spelled SNYD.
I would have never guessed. No.
Wow, that's so clever.
I know.
And we're starting with 300, then we're moving into Watchmen, and then we got news and wrap up. So, any last words?
No, not really. It's
time to dine in hell. Oh.
You know, it was just a matter of time, I suppose.
Totally. So yeah, let's get in here.
By the way, that's the perfect gift for me to use for this because it is just a matter of time before we got here. Like, legitimately.
We'd have to hit this movie eventually.
Yeah, we were gonna watch these 2 eventually for the show. Just seems right that we do it now.
Because circumstances.
Yeah, we're finally there. We're finally at it. God, it's a week away.
It's a week away, but we're not there yet. Let's talk about 300. So, 300, fun movie that I really enjoyed, especially because I got to watch it in 4K for the first time ever. And it was really kind of fun to watch.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, it was quite fun. It reminded me, honestly, the theater experience that I had in, let's see, this says in 2007.
Yeah, so it did release in 2006. I believe in the USA, like Austin Buttonum-a-thon, which is probably just like it's a kind of like thingy. I can't remember what it's called. Those are called.
Indie movie premiere.
Yeah, like one of those like lists of movies that come out, like one of those movie con kind of things. But it did release fully in the US March 9th, 2007, with a budget of $65 million estimated. Opening US weekend, $70 million. So already off to a great start. Gross US, $210 million, and worldwide $456 million. And do you want me to start adding runtime or no?
Nah. We usually talk about it at some point, anyways.
Well, it was brisk at least compared to other things.
It was
like not super brisk.
It
but
was
like,
a brisk hour and 45 minutes,
roughly. I mean, it could this movie could have dragged more, but it doesn't. But it drags a little bit.
Well, when you really think about it, it kind of drags. Like this movie does
because of slow-mo.
Yeah, this movie does nothing but looks good. Like that's That's how I would describe this movie. It's a very shiny turd. Like, it looks super pretty. Except for when you see it in 4K and you get to see all the weird digital effects that don't quite work out. Like, the digital blood looks really fake now.
I'm not surprised.
And what's that guy's name? Da, 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 da. The traitor.
Oh, the Hunchback.
Yeah. Ephialtes?
Yes.
Yes.
Ah,
Ephialtes?
yeah.
Yeah, like his one giant eye looks really fake in 4K. But
I'm not surprised.
but I thought, like, the things, like, thinking about this movie, I watched it, I had a good time watching it. It was very entertaining to watch. But that's pretty much it. There's no moral of the story. There's no lesson. Hell, these people aren't even really good people. They're not portrayed to be good people, but we're still rooting for them anyways. Because this is an action film and we're hoping for action.
Well, also, it's kind of a... More recently it's been talked about, but, like, the portrayal of Persia as being just, like, barbaric people compared to the Spartans.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, Spartans are really, like, it's a little whitewashed. It's not like super whitewashed, but it's a little bit whitewashed.
It's a little whitewashed. But I mean, like, the Spartans themselves aren't, like, in the beginning, the first 5 minutes of this movie is, if you're not perfect, we're throwing you off a cliff. And then we're going to train you to die while you're fighting each other. And then we're going to train you to die in the wild. And then you're an adult and you join the army. Unless you're a politician. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, the whole time, it's like, it's fight or die, fight or die, fight or die. Which, sure, like, it's action movie. That's awesome. That's what we're hoping for. It's like, you want to see an awesome fight where people die.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which you get in this movie. Like, I wouldn't complain. One thing that I wanted to see if I could complain about is the action choreography. Like, trying to see with these large groups of people, if we see, like, just random moments where they're just sitting there and, like, looking awkward in a fight. And I didn't see any.
It's well choreographed. I think I saw one moment where, like, there was one moment where a sword could have gone down and cut a Spartan. But like, that was the one time.
Yeah, and at the same time, I feel like the reason they have that work out for them is because how they use speed ramping in this movie. I mean, a lot of it is slow motion, but then right before the hits, they accelerate really fast, and then they go slow motion again. And then they do that a lot, where they fluctuate the time of the swings and things like that, and it looks really cool. It's a very well stylized film, but it kind of feels like it drags this thing out, especially because the whole middle part of the movie is we fight and we defeat them. Second wave, and we defeat them. Third wave, and we defeat them. Fourth wave, and we defeat them. Like, and we don't even get to see all of the fights. We just get to see snippets of the fights.
Yeah, towards the middle of it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I agree.
There's also, like, no character progression, but
no, I forgot who all was in this cast. I remember Gerard Butler, but I forgot that Lena Headey, Cersei, is in this. That David Wenham, who is from Lord of the Rings, as Faramir. That Michael fucking Fassbender. He popped up and I went, hold up, wait, was that Michael Fassbender? And clicked, like, rewound real quick. I'm like, holy shit, what the fuck? He was in this?
Michael Fassbender.
and Tom Wisdon, who is our Marvel connection today, for this movie as Loki Reader in Endgame. Dude, this was really hard to find a Marvel connection. I had to scrape the fucking barrel.
So I'd say you had to search.
Just a little bit of a search in there, man. I'm not gonna lie. yeah, so one thing I was also doing while watching this movie, because I like to multitask while I watch movies, I was also doing my laundry at the laundromat, which is where I watch some movies that if I've seen the movie enough times, I usually can watch it while I'm doing laundry at the laundromat.
Okay.
So I literally killed it out right before this podcast. Like I got off work, started the movie at the laundromat, and then got home afterwards. And it's one of those ones that like once you've seen it, the only reason why I feel like I would go back to see it again after this review is if I was going to see it in like 4K like you did. Um because like man,
Once you've seen it, you've seen this movie. There's nothing else to see.
there really isn't.
This is a very surface level film.
Yes. 100%. It is as surface level as you can honestly get with it.
Especially too, because like this, don't get me wrong, it's very entertaining and it's quite a spectacle to watch. But think about it. Really think about this movie. And our super unreliable narrator and his explanation of the story as it's being told. So like,
Yep.
That's a question I have. Is like, how much of this is real? Like, I know none of it's technically real, but like,
Well, the thing is, it's in the world of a comic book, so for the most part, those are usually real. I guess, you know what I mean?
is
I don't know. This is a weird one for me because it's just like
not a bad movie. It's just
it's a well shot movie.
Yeah.
That's something that I think I can always give Zach credit for is he knows how to shoot a movie well. Like that is one thing I complimented Man of Steel on. I've complimented Batman v Superman on. I've complimented multiple movies of his that he knows how to shoot a movie. He's great at it. He's good at making a scene look really good. But he doesn't add a whole lot else sometimes. Mind you, he didn't write this one.
Yes, he did.
I mean, oh, he did, didn't he? He was on screenplay, wasn't with never mind. Man, dude, you really just don't add much, do you? Oh, never mind. I was wrong. Yeah, he really
this literally was just a thing about looks. It was about film technique. It was like, look at how we use these two cameras.
I was trying to give him a bone, and then you just
I was like, no, bad dog. No treat for you.
I mean, why not, dude? Why not take it away? Like, it's one of those ones that like, it's also very 2000s. Like, this is a movie of its era. If you have ever seen one.
I agree with that. I also want you to think about the infamous This is Sparta scene. Where does that hole go?
Somewhere with water and earth.
That's true. So my guess is it's probably their local water supply.
No, that's not. They wouldn't be doing that. They're not that dumb. It's probably literally their sewer.
Yeah. That'd be... Ugh.
Maybe. If they have a sewer. Well, yeah. Did Greek have like a sewer system?
I don't think they had plumbing at the time.
Well, not like that. I'm talking about like sewers as in like for water runoffs and stuff like that, where like debris would fall into and everything.
Hello, anyone who knows Greek history of architecture.
Man, I would have been able to answer this like 5 years ago when it was still somewhat fresher in my mind.
I don't know Greek architecture history. I'm sorry. The only thing I might know is Assassin's Creed. And we know that's totally.
Did you play Odyssey?
Yeah.
Did you play Odyssey?
No.
That's the only one that takes place in Greece.
I know. Totally have an accurate history.
Your defense doesn't work. I'm sorry. But like, man, I don't know what to say about this movie. Like, it's shot cool, but it is legitimately nothing else.
Especially like the whole B plot that happens too. Like, there's no
fucking cut it.
Yeah, cut that shit out, man.
I mean, you need a I mean, you usually need a B plot for a movie because it's just it helps a movie in some ways build other characters
The
in the
only
world out a
B
little bit.
plot that I think of that I liked in recent history was Angry Birds 2 with the little chicks B plot.
Okay, B plots in superhero movies are good.
Sure.
Like, you can't argue that.
No, I can't. There's some pretty good plot lines in some superhero movies.
Because usually the B plot's like the villain plot line as well, and you know they converge and they actually interact with each other more and actually matter. That's what I mean by a good B plot, like where the B plot actually affects the plot of the movie, instead of this didn't affect anything. You know, this just existed.
You gave me an idea for next month. Thank you.
Oh, god damn it. But like, yeah, I don't know what to say about it. It's not like, this isn't one that I think I'm just gonna go back to ever, really, unless it's again to see it in like a higher like definition, I guess.
Like, it's very pretty. It's very much a spectacle to watch type thing. It's something I think,
or with friends, friends.
I'd probably throw it on in the background of a movie, like of a party or something.
Yeah. If no one's like playing games on there or anything like that, like let's say you know like you got the Switch set up with some good old Smash Bros. Ultimate, or some Mario Party, or even Mario Kart, and you just want something on the TV. Yeah, throw 300 on. It's whatever. People can laugh at the boobs that show up occasionally. Be like, ha, boobs.
Pimples.
Because you're at a party and you can't like be like boobs, as the epic voice guy would say. But like, man, this movie just doesn't bring much to the table. It just continues to bring up my why did we ever let Zach take control of a comic book franchise?
And it's funny too, because I'm like looking at the ratings for this. On IMDb, it has a 7.6.
Yep.
And it's like, that's really high.
Metacritic is like 50-50 splits. Which, honestly, I don't know if that's where I'm going to land. I'm doing the math in my head right now where I'm putting this. I think I know where I'm putting it. I think I know where you're putting it.
Would you like your popcorn kernels then?
Yeah, I'll take my popcorn kernels.
Because I don't feel like there's much else we could talk about.
No, there really isn't. Like, it's a spectacle, and that's legitimately it.
Oh,
I can't even really like define the acting because there's not much acting to do in this. Because like, it's just a lot of yelling and stabbing. It's well choreographed and well shot.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Everything else is just not really there, and it's not necessarily the fault of the actors or anything like that. Like, I'm not going to critique them for that, because, I mean...
It's all Zack Snyder, baby.
I mean, it is. Like, what else were they going to... How were you going to act... Like, I feel like the acting's good in this movie because it's, like, overacted, which is what you kind of needed for it. So, like, they're doing what they're supposed to do with the movie, right? But it's just that there's not much else to it. So yeah, where's my popcorn?
Yeah, here's your 10 popcorn kernels.
I'm gonna give it a 4.5.
4.5. Damn.
It's not quite middle of the road for me because
not even an average film anymore.
It's just there's nothing else to it. It's just a spectacle, and I can get spectacle with sustenance if that makes sense.
Yeah,
I can watch the 23 Marvel movies, which are all spectacles in their own way.
They are.
Some with less sustenance than others.
Yeah.
Look at you, Thor Dark World, you goofy little child, you.
Yeah.
But
like, Marvel movies have the luxury of being able to be like, hype, 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 and then a little bit of tear jerky moments, but because you've been so hyped the whole time, you're like, oh my goodness.
Well, not just that, they're able to create jokes into their movie. Like, this movie thinks it's funny at moments, and it's just not.
I don't know. There's no reason why we can't be civilized about this, Dev.
It's not funny. Like, it's not. Or like the Sun and Fassbender like interacting with each other. Like, it's trying to be like camaraderie between the two of them, but like, hey, if you've seen this movie, you know what happens to one of them. And you know it's not gonna last super long through the movie, and it's just not funny. So, like, if I'm gonna watch something that's gonna be like this, I can legitimately watch one of the lower tier Marvel movies and get more out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I can watch Iron Man 2 and get more out of it.
I am giving this movie myself, actually the same thing.
Wow, I was gonna give it a 5 for you, but you proved me wrong. We got a solid 4.5 overall.
Yeah, I thought about the 5. I did. Like, it is a center of the road movie, but I do like. I'm the one who always complains about character development and sustenance, and if I give it a higher rating because I'm like, ooh, it looks pretty.
Hey, that would have been funny though. Yeah. I mean, it does look, and I mean, you've been soft on the Zack Snyder movies before, so I wouldn't put it past you. I.e., Dawn of the Dead and Man of Steel.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Motherfucker, what?
Dawn of the Dead's still pretty good. I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Man of Steel over there sitting at a 7 because of you.
Yep, a solid 8 points. Great film. You should watch it sometime.
You get 7. I go to 6.5. And then fucking where is it? Where's Dawn? You gave Dawn you gave that one a 7.5. I gave it a 5.5. So I wouldn't put it past you, and I wouldn't judge you on it beyond what I've already judged you for, in the sense that you've given Zach the pass before.
Yeah,
so it would be expected at this point. So I'm not going to judge you if you do want to bump it to a 5.
Nah, I'm good at a 4 now.
All right.
I'm happy with that one there.
All right.
All right. So let's move on. Second film of today. We are going to talk about Watchmen. Which, I gotta say, it has been a long-ass time since I've watched Watchmen. Like,
same.
I forgot about some of the things that happen, and then I really, really wanted to watch the HBO series after this.
Well, see, all right, so real quick, I'll get through the facts real quick. March 6th, 2009, budget of $130 million, opening US $55 million, gross US $107 million, worldwide $185 million. So it did not make much at the box office. This should never have been translated into a long movie.
Because it defeats the purpose of its own message?
And it just doesn't translate well. Like, most of this movie is people narrating and flashbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Which would work better in, like, a series.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can see this working as a series, 100%.
Have you seen the Watchmen TV series?
Not yet, no.
Okay.
Because I just recently got HBO Max, so, like, since, like, January, and I haven't got around to watching some other shows on there. That one and Lovecraft
okay.
Country
That's
on my
one.
list.
Lovecraft Country.
Yeah, those two are like the top of my list right away. But like, this movie just doesn't translate to film, and also like, I didn't remember, because I didn't really remember how Rorschach was, because I have not seen this in years.
Yeah.
I remember Rorschach being portrayed as like the good guy of it, when, you know, Alan Moore, who just doesn't like when people adapt his stuff into movies. He just doesn't. Because he complained about this because Rorschach, who is kind of like a fascist asshole in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm. He's supposed to be a freaking sociopath.
But he's, because of this movie, kind of portrayed as like the hero.
Yeah.
And
he's the good guy.
Yeah. And also, like, I do appreciate him and Night Owl. Like, they have
a really interesting relationship.
Well, because they're both Batman. they're Batman if Batman goes one way or the other way, if that makes sense on the coin.
Mhm.
Mind you, Night Owl fucking murks a few people, but I'm more referring to like if like Batman tosses morals to the side, or if Batman like still has like if Batman is a moderate or like okay with fascism is the best way I would put it between the two.
Okay.
Because this movie is extremely political, as is the comic book. Um, and like, I just there is something about it where it just like it just doesn't feel like I got what like when I read because my friend had it. I read the Watchmen like graphic novel, and I feel like I got more out of that than I did out of this. You know,
Okay. Yeah.
and I think that's just because like it's it's a movie that just does like it just didn't. I don't think it translated well what the source material is. I guess.
I hear you. Yeah. I like me personally. I don't. I never was interact. I never interacted with the source material for Watchmen. Like, but I do kind of like this movie. Like, it is definitely like You have your critiques are accurate, where it's a lot of like flashback and narration over the discussion of the film. Um, and the fact that like Rorschach, one of the most messed up heroes, is kind of portrayed as the good guy in this movie. But
Like,
it
why cast the guy who played fucking Freddy
mhm.
and make him a good guy? Like, it just doesn't. Or like try to portray like the dude's good at being like a villain.
Yeah, like
His character.
the thing is about this movie, like it's supposed to be morally conflicted, of course, because it talks about like the comedian, how he's kind of like he treats life as a joke, and yet at the same time he knows the right answers. It appears like he's the one who puts everything together sooner rather than later. So like,
Yeah.
it's kind of funny that like a man who even questions himself in a lot of ways still manages to piece it together. But the by the time that we as the audience and like our characters piece together the story and what's going on, a lot of emotions change, because through the beginning of the film, Rorschach is portrayed as kind of like a bad guy who's stepping beyond his means and is, should hesitate. He should take a step back. But as the movie progresses and towards the end of the film, he is portrayed as the good guy who is in the right. But
just because the villain is just far worse.
mm-hmm. But then at the same time, what happens, I kind of like. I like the resolution of this. At the same time, I don't and I do, because I don't like what they do with Dr. Manhattan. Like, it's interesting, and the how everything's connected kind of makes sense. But
Well, they did try to fix because like in the Alan Moore comic, I'm not gonna reveal the spoiler for the movie, but I will spoil the end of the graphic novel, I guess, real quick. Are we okay with that? Because it's different.
Yeah. But I mean, but realize, before you spoil this, I'm gonna spoil something for you in a way. Are you okay with this?
What?
The TV show is a lot closer to the graphic novel.
Graphic novel. I knew that going into it.
Okay.
Because they use the giant squid monster.
Yes. Which is so much cooler.
It makes more sense in a set. Like, they tried to fix something that, like, it was kind of silly that was the resolution in the graphic novel.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time,
it makes sense.
It makes sense.
Like, yes, it's silly. And in this movie, the resolution, like I feel so much more conflicted about the resolution of this film because of how it ends. Like, a lot of the conflict and a lot of the escalation and like the drama that happens between the main characters is because of what's going on around Dr. Manhattan. And then the resolution of the film happens and I'm like, oh, like it, like the ending is the weakest part of this film to me by far.
I can agree to that.
But I still enjoyed all the other things that happened. Like, I liked the relationships that built between Rorschach and Night Owl. I liked the comedian and his complexities. Like, he's probably my favorite character, even though he's an awful person. And
that's fair. He's also, he's played by Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who like makes awful people likable. He was fucking Negan. Like,
yeah, that's true.
And mind you, I didn't watch past the first episode of Negan, all right, of Walking Dead, because I was just tired of the shit of that show. Not gonna lie, it had nothing to do with him playing Negan. I think he's a great goddamn choice. From everything I see with him as Negan, fucking killing it. But he plays edgy people really well. Not to say that's all he can do. He plays, other characters really well as well. This is going to be a weird one to bring up, but he was on Grey's Anatomy. The reason why I know this is because everyone I'm friends with on Twitch, besides Steven, it feels like, watches Grey's Anatomy.
My stepmother and my grandmother watch Grey's Anatomy, and I have to hear them talk about it from time to time.
My mother watched it a lot, and being ADD dev, sometimes I would just... You remember my old house's layouts?
Yes.
Where there was that wall where the couch would be, and then there was like that step up into the dining room and up to the door.
Yeah.
That wall, if the TV was on, there's a good chance I was just leaning against that like archway part of it and just watching the TV on either side of that wall. Because I didn't have shit else to do. And when the TV's on, I'm absorbed for some reason. So, like I'll say, Jeffrey Dean Morgan is pretty good in there too, and he plays a very different character than what I'm used to with him, okay? It's the most Grey's Anatomy I will ever talk about on any show, I hope to God.
Okay. He also plays the government intelligence agency person, Rampage,
which was great. He was a great part of that movie. That movie was fun, and you know it.
It wasn't bad, and if we hadn't already watched it, we'd be watching it with King Kong.
Probably. Listen, it was when we could go to the theaters. I don't regret paying money to see that in theaters now that we haven't had a theater movie in over a year. Has it actually been over a year? Hold on. I got the list. Hold on.
It's pretty much been over a year.
It's just about been. When was the last movie we went to theaters for? Invisible Man would have been the last one, which was the weekend before March 2nd.
So yeah, it's been over a year.
It's been over a year.
We've been locked in our homes for over a year. Well, that's not true. If we were actually locked in our homes, we'd be better by now.
Oh, and we've been working this entire time too. Fuck. Anyways, but like, I think I can agree with you there. That or Night Owl, who is played by Patrick Wilson, who is our DC connection of the day as oh god, I can't remember. Hold on, before I look it up, because he's from Aquaman. Fuck, it's not Aquamaster.
Oh, you're close though.
It's got Master in it.
It does have Master.
Have water of some sort in it?
No, I mean kind of. It's made of water.
Seamaster?
Other word?
Ocean Master.
There you go.
Listen, I got there eventually. I just had to say it wrong twice, and then the third time was the charm. Yeah, he plays Ocean Master.
He's also the Phantom of the Opera. Or not the Phantom, my apologies.
No, he's in Phantom of the Opera. Yeah. And he's in he's Insidious and all that. Um, Insidious, Conjuring, like he's in all of that stuff.
Mhm.
He was the POTUS voice in Batman v Superman. Oh, huh. Anyway, Ocean Master was the president all along.
He was in charge.
He was literally the oceans to take over the world, to give Atlantis an excuse.
Well, if we learned anything from the last week's movies, is that you only need to take over the United States to take over the world.
Yeah, pretty much. But I think he's really good in this movie too. I think Malin Ackerman is pretty good as well. Like, I think it's cast well. For me, I just don't think this movie, I guess I don't think it works from its source material as well as like people might think it does. Like, it translates the things like almost page for page onto the screen, but that's not how you adapt something. If that makes sense. Like, I'm okay with changing certain things. Like, you've got to do that if you're gonna make a movie based off of something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is how you do it. Like,
you didn't like
have
this
to cut things.
2 hour and 45-minute long film with credits?
It's long, man.
It's long.
Like, it is. It's and like there are other ways you could have gone around some of this stuff. Like you could have cut a lot of the stuff about the Minutemen.
Yeah.
If not all of it.
I mean, kinda, yeah. I mean, we didn't really need to know about the past.
There's only one thing from the past that you kind of could use to know.
Yeah, but even then, once we know about it, it doesn't change any part of the story.
No, it doesn't. It just changes one person's outlook on the story.
Yeah.
Because of someone else's backstory.
Yeah. It's strange because the only reason it makes sense is because of how it correlates with our good doctor. And it just doesn't make sense, honestly. Like, it's only in there because of him, but if it wasn't in there, would he do the stuff? Would he do the thing?
I mean, who knows?
I mean,
it's just,
I don't know.
Again, that's why I don't feel like it translates well to film. Like, it's just like this is too carbon copy of what the comics do for it, which just, in my opinion, just doesn't work. Like, I know this is coming from the guy who usually says like, hey, I like things that have like some like correlation to the like source material, but I don't want it like carbon printed from the source material. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I want it to have I want it to be similar, but I don't need it to be the exact goddamn thing translated to a medium that it doesn't work as well in. Because like, if I want this experience but better, I'm just gonna read the graphic novel. Like, that's just how I'll put it.
Okay.
Because it's A, I get to take my own pace to it. B, I guess it's like the main reason, I guess. B, it's more true to what the authorial intent was to it. Not that, I do adhere to death of the author in a lot of things, but like when it comes to certain things like politically, I do believe that like authorial intent is important in that sense. Because like Alan Moore makes very politically charged things because he's a very political man.
Yeah.
So like I mean, I feel like it gets missed a little bit in the movie.
And we can get into more detail about that, I think, in spoilers too.
Oh, 100%.
Sorry, I got distracted here because I was reading through Zack Snyder's filmography. It's like, wow, he's had a history, man. Like, he started as a director doing music videos. His first major project was Dawn of the Dead. And then from that movie, he went to 300. Then he went to Watchmen. Then to The Legend of Guardians, The Owls of Ga'Hoole, which I've seen that movie, which is what I honestly thought was a way overproduced owl movie. And then he did Sucker Punch, and then from that point on, he was part of the DCEU.
And that's where everything went wrong. And why we're here today.
But he's making an Army of the Dead movie.
I mean, someone did point out this is the year of Snyder. With that and with next week's movie.
Yeah.
He's getting his name back out there. A lot of people were like, "Oh, his career's dead" and all that shit. Like, I never thought his career was dead. I just said that he shouldn't be in charge of the DCEU. And I will stand by that. I'm seeing. By the way, like seeing as many like, I'm avoiding all the headlines I can.
Yeah, there's a lot of headlines around it already because of like reviews.
But there are so many like, it's not good, it's good, it's not good, it's good, it's not good, it's good, it's not good, it's good.
Yeah. I've seen reviews that are like, yeah, it's a twice as long film that's twice as bad. And it's like, oh, come on. And others are like, it's the movie that it was supposed to be and it's glorious. It's like, oh.
I can't wait. Because, I mean, like, if it's anything like this, okay, and that's why I'm bringing it up, it's just gonna be long.
Yes.
With some cool moments, but it's just gonna be really long. And I swear to God, if it's a lot of long narration, like this movie was, I'm just not gonna enjoy myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't really, like, I can't make fun of it because there's not much to make fun of. Like, I can't make fun of Watchmen for being long and, like, boring. Like, that's not fun to make fun of. It's just, it's long and boring in a lot of parts because it's just like, you get like fucking 16 scenes of Rorschach going, Rorschach's journal, November 10th.
And the whole time he's just walking down the street and nothing's happening.
That was actually a pretty good Rorschach, by the way. I'm proud of myself on that.
That's not bad.
First attempt at that. It's either him or Dr. Manhattan going, these humans. I don't.
That's actually one I did like Dr. Manhattan's voice.
I like they casted him great. Because they casted he's from Mission Impossible 3. Where is he? Billy Crudup, who was the heel turn villain.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it a face turn? Went good to bad?
He's
Do you know wrestling terms?
The heel is the bad guy.
Is that heel, like a heel turn would be correct then?
I believe so, yeah. Good to
It's
bad?
Like a turn. Yeah. Okay, cool. Because he's the heel turn character in Mission Impossible 3. Like you're like, oh my god, he's the bad guy. Kind of one of them.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, he's the bad guy. What? But like I think he does a great job as Dr. Manhattan. It's just when you have him narrating, Rorschach narrating, the flashbacks, Moon Knight or Night Owl occasionally narrating. Sorry.
Wrong franchise.
Wrong franchise. Sorry. It's just like there's so many moments of people narrating and then flashing back to why they're narrating. Like, literally, the funeral scene is those three fuckers flashing back. No,
it is.
The two fuckers flashbacking.
And then it transitions into the third.
Into Rorschach narrating about what happened. About the funeral we just saw.
But hey, it leads us to our next victim.
Which works in a graphic novel, right? Because that transition would work because it essentially it would transition from day to night at the graveyard, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Rorschach doing his narration, which works in a graphic novel or comic book or even a book. Anything you read the medium, it works because that's how you get like the inner thoughts of a character.
Yeah,
but it just when everyone's doing it in a movie. it really feels like things are just dragging at that point.
Mhm.
Like, at least with like Sherlock Holmes, the Robert Downey Jr. ones, it's just him doing it.
And then there's short sequences too, for the most part.
Yeah, there's short sequences where he's figuring out what to do real quick, and you see the cuts of like what he like him calculating everything, and then it does it.
Yeah.
Or when they spin it on his head during the second one, when it doesn't do it, when he's like, "Whoa, someone predicted my move." And that's good. That's good. That's how you use narration and like that kind of like setup and stuff like that. This one just does nothing with it. It's just like constant narration of like Rorschach walking around, putting stuff into his journal about what's happening, and it's like we're seeing it and we're being told it right after, and it just doesn't work for a movie. And I think that's my problem with it. Like, I feel like when I was younger, I probably enjoyed this a lot more.
I can see that,
Personally.
honestly, because once again, it has like those moments where you're like, "Oh, that's brutal! You can see a skeleton!
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, she's feeling all tingly all over."
Also, I don't know if I've upon watching this, I don't know if I've actually fully sat through this.
Really? Like in one sitting?
Yeah. I've seen all of it, but I don't know if I sat all the way through it once, because it's just like, it's brutally long.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just is. I know that's what I'm complaining about the most, and I'm sorry. It's just it's the thing that hurts the most about it, because it's just like you could have made this shorter and better, but you didn't, and now I'm sitting here for 3 hours late at night watching this movie, sending Snapchats back to Steven when he gets to a part, and then when I get to that part,
That made me
sending
laugh.
that
I was
to him.
like, "Really? You're just 30 minutes behind me?" I almost wanted to stop and be like, "Movie night?" But
I was watching it in bed.
yeah, I was
Like,
I was in the living room like, I'm not going to sit at my computer desk right now.
No, same. Because if I fell asleep to it, I would have been like, all right, cool. I'll finish it later. It's like, I just set it up. I finally, like, I moved my Chromecast in my bedroom onto the little, like, 32-inch Vizio I have in there,
Mhm.
which is perfect because, like, my dresser is kind of close to my bed. Like, there's room to open and close it, but it's like, it's not, like, super far for a 32, so it, like, works.
Mhm.
Um, but, like, it's just, man, there was a certain point where I was sitting there like, does this movie end? Like, I don't know. It goes on for fucking ever.
It ends eventually.
I know.
We just have to see a bunch of people in tights first.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Um Popcorn kernels?
Popcorn kernels.
All right.
You got 10.
10. I'm going to give this movie a nice 6.
That is way lower than I thought. I was guessing a 7.5.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's way closer to my score at a 5.5.
Like, it's not bad. It's not super amazing. And one of the complaints that I had that we didn't even get to talking about was still the Zack Snyder slow motion. It happens in every fight scene, in every scene. Like, so I can't wait to see that
Yeah.
again. Like, I completely forgot about it. I was like, oh yeah, slow motion.
Well, at least, like, I will give Man of Steel this. That doesn't have that much.
Yes.
It doesn't really have slow-mo to it.
Yeah, like he realized there's a point, there's a level that
Yeah.
you can put on.
Like, something I want to talk about before going to spoilers. I watched a video about Man of Steel recently.
Okay.
That was someone going back to rewatch it and figuring out that, like, they don't dislike it as much as they thought they did. And they pointed out things that, like, I think you get at with it, and I understand why you like it. I still will say, and they even say in the video, like, this isn't a good Superman movie, but it's an interesting take on Superman. Which I can agree to a point. But the problem is, like, it's just not Superman is the problem I have with it.
Yeah.
Like, but I can understand points like I do like watching things that have a slightly different opinion on a movie than I do. Because sometimes when me and Steven disagree, it makes me realize some of his points more. So I will concede some points, like, and I mean, I will agree. Like, we agreed on it then, I believe, but it is really beautifully shot. There are some beautiful shots in that movie. Um, and like some plot beats probably aren't as bad as like I make him out to be, but I'm still gonna shit on the movie because it's caused us to be where we are gonna be next week.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that movie, next week doesn't happen, for better or worse.
Wasn't for this movie specifically.
Honestly, if it wasn't for this week's movies,
Yeah.
we
We never would
wouldn't
have
be
had
there.
Zack Snyder. What do you
In
think?
comic books.
Yeah, like, so yeah, 300 was like his debut film after the Rise of the Dead, whatever it's called at this point.
Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah. So like those were his 2 debut films. Before that, it was music videos. What, like, who do you think, which producer was like, man, this guy who does music videos would make a great zombie film? No, let's find out. I'm gonna click on director Zack Snyder. Let's see. Then I'm gonna go find Dawn of the Dead. Here we go. And the producer in charge of this movie is there's a couple of them, but yeah, there's 7 different producers. That's a problem. Because most likely there was a joke that used to go around in my film classes where executive producer, which there are 3 of those in this movie, those are the easiest roles in the film to get. It's literally, here's my money, make a movie. I have, yeah. It's like, here you go. Here's a couple $100,000. I want you to do this, make a movie. That's the executive producer role. So, I would probably say it was Mark Abraham who's the one who was like, let's make this guy make a movie. So, if it wasn't for this guy, we wouldn't be at where we are today. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get ready to spoiler!
I wasn't on time with my buttons. There we go.
I did just click it. Like I had no cue, no even hint of a cue. I just hit it.
Yeah.
What to say? Like, I guess it's mostly gonna be about the end, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. So,
All right.
like our complaints was we didn't need flashbacks and things because they don't really progress the story itself. But you kind of need the flashbacks because they explain the story of our Silk Spectre number 2, Mrs. Jupiter or whatever the hell they call themselves.
Yeah.
And Silk Spectre number 2, her mother, the original Silk Spectre, was sexually assaulted by the comedian. But when we find that out, I think an hour and a half into the film.
Yep.
And then we've seen hints of throughout the film, like 20 minutes in, we got to see arguments of Silk Spectre arguing with whoever. And then apparently towards the end of the film, like the last half hour, we learn that the comedian and Silk Spectre then, after the attempted rape, did actually have sex with each other one time, and it created our new Silk Spectre. So, it only takes one, kids, and yeah.
Yeah.
So we have. That's how we learn about, like, that's how we get the Silk. That's why it's relevant, because then we learn about Silk Spectre's past. And because we learn about Silk Spectre's past, then that's what convinces Dr. Manhattan to help try to save the day.
Because he saw a miracle.
Yeah. Which, sure. if you really, really think about it and then completely forget about what you were thinking about and just take it at face value, you're like, yeah, that makes sense.
Well, then every life is a miracle.
Exactly. And yet he was like, life is just an overrated phenomenon. Yeah, so that happens. And then ultimately thinking about it, like Dr. Manhattan says, like, he knows everything. He's like, this is the point in time where you come with me to talk on Mars about me coming back. And like if I had somebody who like showed up behind me and was like, hey, it's time to go. This is the point in time where you try to convince me to do something. And like they phrase it like that, like you try to convince me to do this. I'm like, oh, that means I fail. I guess I'm not going. All right, what's our next plan?
Well, and then the other thing too is like the whole Ozymandias
Yeah.
storyline, which the dude's just not in this movie.
No, if he was in it more, I think it would make sense.
But he's not.
No.
And so it just doesn't work.
Like
Like,
even,
again, that's one of those things that I feel like would translate well in the graphic novel.
yeah, like even if we could just see more of like Vite controlled companies throughout the thing. Like another Vite logo or like more of this or more
Like,
of
we
that.
see plenty of, like, Pyramid, but, like, that's it. I don't know, it's just one of those things that I'm just like, they could have done more.
Yeah. And
Like,
then
it just,
with the,
like, like, if you don't know it's coming, it just kind of comes out of nowhere. But like you kind of see the pieces that lead up to it, but it's at the same time like, is that really what's like? Was this originally the plan? Like it is originally planned because that's what in the graphic novels like Ozymandias summons this giant squid thing. But like, did we need the whole destroying all the cities?
yeah, especially too because I like the squid version better myself. Because especially when we get towards the end where it's like, yeah, their overall hatred of you, Dr. Manhattan, is what brings humanity together. And I feel like that completely defeats the purpose of the conversation that we just had with the Silk Spectre.
Yeah,
So, I don't know. I
I
get,
agree to that.
yeah, it's like so weird at times. I mean, like it does make sense, especially too because I like the idea that superheroes aren't perfect. Like Rorschach is a sociopath who kind of just does his own thing, and on occasion he's correct. I like how the comedian is really just a messed up human being, but also kind of understands more about what's going on in life. Um, we have Dr. Manhattan, who is so disconnected from humanity, but also at the same time is like necessity to making the plot go forward. And Ozymandias himself, like, he's the world's smartest man, and apparently he's super strong and super fast. And we only know about that because it's exposed upon in Rorschach's journals. So
Yep.
it's not told to us. It's told to us and not shown to us, even in through flashbacks.
Kind of showed to us in one moment with the like
With the break-in,
fake assassin,
yeah.
but like
Even then, it wasn't as fast as as he ends up being later on.
yeah, because he also just gets some people murked during it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just like I like the end because it makes sense that I like the end for what this is, but I don't like the end because I think the other one's better.
Like I do like the end and what they do with Rorschach, like killing him to make sure that the fake peace is maintained. I like that personally.
Well, I mean, it's definitely like it's for the greater good,
Mm-hmm.
but is the greater good good? Like it's one of the it is a moral dilemma.
Yeah, I mean, Night Owl brings it up where he's like, you think you've perfected humanity, but you've disgraced it. You've morphed it into like this awful thing. And yeah, that's not verbatim there, but he essentially just says
close.
Yeah, he essentially just says that you think that you've perfected humanity, but what you've done is you've mutated it into this awful thing. You didn't let it go its own course. So
Yeah.
but at the same time, this altered history is pretty fucked up.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Yeah. I don't know what else to say, honestly.
No, I don't know either.
Like, it looks good. The character development was okay. But also, like, the part that I think I liked the least was actually the development between Night Owl and Silk Spectre. Like, it just feels like it was meant to fluff up the runtime.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I haven't really got anything else to talk about, unless there's anything.
No, I don't either. It's like, it's one of those things where it's just like, I wish I had more to say, but there's just, it's just waste. It seems more surface level than it should be for something that is like like a known deeper kind of source material.
Yeah. So would you say that a better representation of this would be like Amazon's The Boys?
Probably, honestly.
Because it's kind of a similar mindset, but different approach.
Yeah, no, I think I would agree with you on that.
Okay. And then, yeah, 100%. I recommend watching the HBO series, because watching this, I was like, I need to rewatch the HBO series. It's good, man. It's real good. And they're only gonna have one season of it, so you can binge watch it all and be happy that you got to see it.
Hey, well, that's good.
Yeah. I guess then we are done here with the spoilers. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Hit the buttons for me, good sir. Yay. You hit the one button multiple times, just like I like it.
That's what I'm here for.
So yeah, we here now. We talk about news and stuff, and I've only got like 2 bits of news here to cover, honestly. First bit, something that I think is kind of silly and really a formality, a technicality, if I had to be honest. Endgame is no longer the highest grossing box office film anymore.
Because goddamn Avatar released in China.
Yeah, it re-released in China for a special run.
Another $3 million.
Yeah. It's like, that's
such bullshit.
Yeah, that's so fucked up, but like, hey, you know.
God damn it.
I feel like that's just gonna be what it is from now on. Like, if the Russo and Marvel wants to be fucking petty for the rest of their lives.
But it's their money! They're betting against themselves!
Yeah.
Because they own Avatar! They could just continually fucking make the fanboys face off against each other to just generate more money.
Yeah, artificially.
And I hate it because I would be a part of it too, because I just want Endgame to be higher than it. Because Avatar's not a good movie! It's just not! It's a fucking... Fern Gully's better. There, I fucking said it.
Oh, that's funny. But Marvel Studios sent out a tweet on the 13th, on the day that it happened, saying congratulations to James Cameron and John Lando and all of you Na'vi Nation, and all of you in the Na'vi Nation for reclaiming the box office crown. We love you, 3000. And then the Russo brothers.
I don't want them to take it back, but I do at the same time, because this is just Disney playing its hand now that it owns fucking everything, and I hate it because I'm also invested, because I was really happy because it was before, like, they owned all of Fox at that point, I think. But I don't like Avatar as a movie. It shouldn't be the top spot.
It says here, the very last chapter of this article from Screen Rant is, Avatar's ability to reclaim its title over a decade after its initial release serves as a good omen for the future of the franchise. With 5 sequels planned, Remember that. There are 5 sequels planned.
I know.
The world of the Na'vi needs to be able to retain audience attention for potentially decades to come. However, the film's place in the box office hierarchy is likely safe for the time being. Even if Marvel does decide to re-release Endgame, the film's relatively recent initial release makes it unlikely that it would reach high enough numbers to gain the #1 spot again. So for the foreseeable future, Avatar will probably hold the title for the highest grossing film of all time.
Bullshit.
All because they're like, China. So,
and the problem is, like, the only way that Endgame's gonna pass it is if, like, they do a, like, all Avenger movies marathon before the next Avengers movie. That's the only way it's gonna beat it.
Makes sense, honestly.
But then you have to, like, but then it's gonna generate less money because it would be like a collective ticket for, like, all the Avengers.
Yeah.
Just I hate it. I hate it, Steven. Like, we got it off the list. It was gone. You know? It wasn't there anymore. But then it was back. And I hate it so much.
So, are we good to move on to our next one?
Yep.
All right. Next bit of conversation, one that I find kind of interesting, is Lucasfilm is reportedly... Oh, sorry, an article just popped up. Stupid advertisement. There we go. Lucasfilm was reportedly warning Rosario Dawson to be careful after the recent firings of Gina Carano. So,
I mean, understandably.
Understandably, yeah. Like, everyone knows at this point why Gina Carano was fired, and there have been rumors...
There is a list.
Yeah. There's rumors going around, too, that she's gone back to, like, Disney CEOs being like, please, hire me back, please.
What? Her deal with Ben Shapiro isn't going to work out?
Who knows?
Listen, I want to make a movie with Gina Carrero. Please.
Yeah.
This is what I want for me to do.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to see a movie made by me. I love my Ben Shapiro. It's fun. It's fun making fun of that little fucker.
But yeah, apparently right now they've warned her because if people remember, Rosario Dawson has had some problems with accusations towards abusing people of trans. Trying to phrase this in not a way that sounds poorly, but trying to do so made it come out poorly.
Just say the best way to put it is claims of abuse towards trans people.
Yes, thank you. And
all right, I got your back.
Thank you. Yes,
I know what you were trying to get at, and you were trying you tried to find the wording, but you didn't go the simplest route.
Yeah, my brain didn't connect all the way and went.
You went like there was a tunnel over here, and you went like, I'm gonna go over the mountain
and through the woods.
And not end up at grandmother's house.
Yeah. It's like my thought line was like, you make a loop-de-loop and pull, and what the fuck was that over there? So yeah. And there have been talks about like the specific person was her housemaid. Not maid, sorry, but their live-in house person that cleaned their house and did all the stuff for them.
Yeah.
He had claimed, he goes by Finley. He had claimed that they had been he had been abused by Rosario Dawson and his family many times, physically and verbally. So, I mean, a lot of those charges have been dropped, but still, we don't know how much of it has merit to it, and if she is not careful, we could see her being fired and also losing the Ahsoka Tano series.
Well, they'll just recast Ahsoka.
You think they would that quickly?
Yes. A, they have a plan for it. B, Ahsoka is beloved by everyone at
Only
this
people
point.
who have seen the cartoons.
No. Now after the show?
After Mandalorian, all they know about her is that she's a cool Jedi. They don't know anything about her character.
That's all they needed, and they loved it. Did you not see Twitter the day after that episode aired? It was everywhere.
I take Twitter with a grain of salt because it is kind of an echo chamber.
Trending. It was trending.
Let's see what happens. I'm gonna go on Twitter right now. When I see my trending tab, let's see. Politics. That's French laundry.
Are you on For You or are you on trending?
Let's see. Where is specifically trending? Hashtag explore. Hashtag trending. Let's see. First whiskey. Number one's The Bachelor. There we go.
Yep.
Yeah.
WWE Raw.
Yeah.
Knicks.
Knicks.
Best anime.
Okay.
Bengals.
Okay.
Hornets. AEW.
Okay.
Dark Evolution. Black Lightning. Airing on CW.
Okay.
Shams. Jets. Lawson. UFC 61. Gen X.
So some of these are getting a little mixed up on my side, but like they're not in the same order that you're naming them, but they're there.
Patriots.
I see the Patriots. I don't see the Patriots.
I see that at 14.
Oh, I see it at 21.
Weird. But like for the most part, it's pretty accurate for between people.
I guess so. Yeah. But yeah, I guess they could have been trending, but still, like
it was trending. I saw it trending.
It's still like people have these things all the time where it's the vocal minority is what can make things trending. It's why we have like canceled Jeremy Renner was a thing for a while because of the vocal minority.
Jeremy Renner?
Yeah. You didn't hear about that? Yeah, there was a little bit of a it's not trending right now, but there was a while where it was trending on Twitter because they were trying to cancel him for his past accusations of abusing his wife and leaving like cocaine out in public places and doing drugs and stuff like that. But since there was never any proof of any of it, he's not lost his jobs.
Well, yeah, but it's also like people are going to voice their things like that too. But I'm more saying that like Ahsoka was trending for pretty much like the day. And you couldn't escape people's like opinion on like Ahsoka showing up in Mandalorian. So they're like, I don't see them giving that up, if that makes sense. Because the fans who want to see it are the people who are already going to watch it, if that makes sense. Like the people who watch Mandalorian are going to watch Ahsoka. The people who watch Clone Wars are going to watch Ahsoka. The people who watch Rebels are going to watch Ahsoka. The people who watched any of the shows are already going to watch Ahsoka.
I mean, you're not wrong. At the moment, they're going to watch anything that's put out. It's so strange to think all of the major stuff that's coming out is all being produced by Disney.
Oh, there's HBO / Warner Brothers. It's literally just these two.
Yeah, it's literally just these two movies.
I mean, there's other stuff coming out, but like, we're not going to theaters.
Mm-hmm.
And like, TV-wise, like, I'm sorry, like, there just isn't a lot of good TV, like, on major TV that I can't just watch on a streaming platform. You know?
Yeah. When is this coming out? Oh, let's see. Let's see, we could watch the new Tom and Jerry movie.
No. I've heard good things about it. If you want to put that into your month, go for it.
Ah, jeez. Yeah, that's really all I have about that. I've got nothing else to talk about, honestly.
That's fair.
Except for next week's films, which...
Next week, film.
Yep. I mean, it might as well be films. It's probably going to be long as fuck.
It's 6 parts. It's 6 chapters is what they're calling it. I won't reveal the titles of the chapters. I've looked into that. It doesn't really reveal the plot itself, but it kind of gives you an idea of when certain things are supposed to happen in the movie, if that makes sense.
I mean, if you've seen the first one, you probably know what's going to happen with this one.
Yeah, but it kind of gives you the idea of like where the nightmare sequence is supposed to take place and all that kind of stuff. So it kind of like, if you look at the chapter titles, you're kind of like, okay, so this is kind of what we're going to expect. But yes, Zack Snyder's Justice League next week. Me, Steven, Jay, Liz, Jim, Reed, Baron, we're all going to be here, uniting the 7, each one of us here to give you an opinion. God knows how long this show's going to go, because it's a long-ass fucking movie. So it'll probably be a short, like, review part where we all give our opinions, and then it's just gonna be us talking about it.
Mm-hmm. Just
So-
forever. And
'Cause there's
like, I'm
gonna be a
interested.
lot.
I'm really excited for this one because it's finally going to be multiple different opinions. It's not just going to be us two.
And arguably one of the most important ones. And also, we get to put this into the DC list because it is part of the DCEU.
It is. But you know what? I'm not sure I want to do that on that show. Being completely honest with you. With all 7 of us, that's going to be fucking chaos.
Why not?
Because I have a life on Tuesdays.
We can do the list will be easy. We can just vote for it.
Like, for instance, I have to wake up at 4 tomorrow. Because
Yeah,
work
good luck
on
with
Tuesdays.
that. I wake up at 5, so I mean,
Yeah, it's fun.
but I'm more saying like it'll be easy to put that in the list because like more than likely everyone's probably gonna land around a similar area for it, and we can outvote anyone who doesn't, depending. Because our list is pretty definitive. And like I guess for other people it might be hard being like, well, I mean, I like because going into I guess I'll go over the list real quick just so people know the week ahead. We're like, and you want to place your bets, figure it out. Shazam's number 1, Wonder Woman number 2, Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn at number 3, Man of Steel at number 4, Aquaman at number 5, Wonder Woman 1984 at number 6, Batman v Superman Justice League or Dawn of Justice Ultimate Cut, Justice League theatrical cut, and Suicide Squad at number 9. So personally, like if someone has like one of these out of order a little bit, I still feel like we have a definitive idea where this is probably going to end up because I don't see it breaking top 4. I don't see it beating Man of Steel.
Of course, you see everything beating Man of Steel. You think
No,
every movie.
I don't think this will beat Man of Steel. I said I don't see this beating Man of Steel. I don't think every movie beats Man of Steel. Justice League is worse. Batman v Superman is worse. Suicide Squad is worse. Definitively. Wonder Woman 1984 was worse.
Okay. I'll believe you.
But we'll see where this lands next week.
Yeah.
I genuinely cannot wait. This is going to be so good.
Oh, yeah. So next week, it'll be interesting. Dev's going to be the host next week. He's taking control. I'll just press the buttons.
It is my birthday.
I mean, unless you want me to give you all the graphics, too.
Give me all the graphics and everything.
All right, Dev will have all the control, I guess.
I will be in control.
He'll
for a
steal
week.
my show like he does
Listen.
normally, just with actual permission.
It's my birthday. Let me run the show once. I get like once every like year. All right.
And it's my show, motherfucker.
It's not my birthday.
So yeah, that's next week. Be prepared for that.
Oh, it's just gonna be 7 of us talking about this movie.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be a mess.
It's gonna be great. Oh.
So yeah. Until next week. Like, comment, subscribe, give us a
All
review,
the things.
dings and dongs and whatnot, dongles.
Yeah, all the dongles.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah,
Well,
it's time.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it's time.
Oh, you know what? Are we still live?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Holding.
Do I have a pen on my desk?
I mean, I have a
Hold on.
pen, but I can't give it to you. I'm sorry.
Hold on, there's a pen over here.
Okay.
For next week, okay? I said I would do this.
Okay. Dribbles. I see. Writing on a notepad. Stuff is happening.
Damn it, come on, don't die on me now.
Uh-oh. We're gonna need a Superman resurrection here for this pen.
Snyder Cut is gonna be bad.
Oh, so you can eat your words if it's
I will
good?
eat my words if it's good.
Oh, that's funny. All right, with that, we're out of here, everybody. Have a good night. We'll see
It's gonna be bad.
we'll,
It's gonna be bad.
we'll see you next week for what's probably going to be the best movie of all time ever. Highest grossing box office film? Totally, because it's not even in the box office. All right. Have a good night, everyone. Bye.
I can't even do like a theme song for next week because there's just nothing.
Yeah, I can't think of anything either. Oh well.
And Zimmerman, BOOM!